Hello, everyone. I am the Reverend Godfather, the main host and frontman for the Long Coat Mafia podcast. If you want to check out my podcast while on the go or listen to it on your desktop or laptop computer, you're free to do so. The links will be down in the description below. But if you want to have it as background noise or anything like that, I'm more than happy that you did that as well. You can also listen to the shows here on YouTube. They're posted up every Monday. I'll try to keep this short and sweet because how I did things was lasting close to an hour instead of trying to do it long form, maybe 30 minutes or so. But I want to talk about this article right here that I'm looking at on the desktop that you see right here. It's titled "The Cult of Alita Battle Angel: The Alt-Right Parable or Neglected Classic." This article came out a day ago. It's got 37 comments. This article came out today from Bounding into Comics, saying pretty much title. Let's scroll down a little bit. Battle Angel Alita fandom falsely painted as alt-right by the Independent. I initially wanted to talk about this article or do a video about it yesterday or when I first saw this, but many other YouTubers that I watch kind of covered this article. It does a brief history about the movie and how it kind of faded into the distance. Fox has a nasty habit of kind of moving things into obscurity at times, and especially over the past couple of months. Look at Dark Phoenix. It wasn't handled very well advertising wise. Especially overall, it was a flop. Not to mention, especially with a lot of movies, I want to say a lot of Fox movies, especially the geek-related pop culture movies over the last couple of months, because of Disney taking over Fox, a lot of this has, a little bit of blame on this has been put on over what's kind of stated in this article. Is put on Disney for not wanting these movies such as Battle Angel out there a lot because of Disney antics. At least the first part of the article. And I want to say this. About a few months ago, back in, I want to say March, when this movie first came out and I saw it in theater, me and Sasha the Princess of Darkness kind of did a review. I think the episode is here on YouTube. And it's also out there on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, and not to mention our main website, which is the Long Coat Mafia. I should say this. Sorry, rented lips. Our main website is thelongcoatmafia.podbean.com. I'm sorry, I'm kind of doing this blindfolded a little bit because this whole thing's being done on my laptop, and I can understand why a lot of YouTubers kind of have the two monitors set up on a desk. That way they could have their recording software on one screen and what they're looking at on another, so that way they could fly by night. So I don't have that luxury, so I got to kind of do it blindfolded by looking at what I initially want to record. But I want to step beyond that too and say because this article kind of bashes the fans a little bit of Battle Angel, I want to say this. Again, like in that episode, me and Sasha talked about the manga a little bit, how there were two different overall arcing series. One is what I have in my hands. Not the complete series, but it's the second run of the series, or the second major storyline, called Last Order. I got my hands on the anime first. It was a 2-episode anime back in the mid to late 90s. I loved it. I was a fan of it. I watched it every so often, along with Ninja Scroll, Vampire Hunter D. I really enjoyed the anime, and when I finally got into comics, I decided to kind of gear off my set with the original run of Battle Angel Alita, and it's what I kind of refer to it instead of Alita Battle Angel. And it wasn't the issues that I got for the manga Battle Angel were not like this, what I have in my hands. They were like the traditional comics you pick up in stores. They were read, they're American style, not the reverse style like you kind of see here. But I enjoyed them, I was a fan. I am still a fan of Battle Angel. I loved the movie. I think because you're looking at the website right now, I think James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez did a wonderful job putting the story together. So, like I said, I was a fan of this a long time. It was hard finding Last Order in stores near me because this is the independent that you see here on your screen is said that it's kind of obscure. They're right in that. I won't say that because they kind of they talk about the fans called Alita Army. I don't fall into that. I'm just a fan. If a lot of the bigger fans call themselves Alita Army, I'm going to Otakon this year. I want to see if there is people dressed up in Alita cosplay. I think it would be fun to see. And I want to say this, Rosa. Again, I'm going to say this. Rosa did a wonderful job of playing Alita. Wonderful. The cast that you see here, Ali, Christoph Waltz, Jennifer Collins, everybody did a wonderful job playing their cast. And I'm going to put this down right now. And I won't say Alita was a flop in any sense of the word, but it didn't do all that well. This article goes on and say that the manga was niche, if that. And I believe that because it was not as popular as like Full Metal Alchemist, Bleach, Attack on Titan, One Punch. It's not. Was it popular? I don't know. I think more where I'm at here in West Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Winchester area. They're more so folks that are a fan of like Naruto, One Punch, Bleach, and Dragon Ball Z than they are of Battle Angel. I think it's not really carried in large quantities in stores, while Full Metal and One Punch and Attack on Titan are. It's easier to find them in any available Barnes and Noble if there's any left, or Borders if there are any left. I know the one major bookstore near me that sells manga. It's low. Do you see Battle Angel? I have yet to go back to see if they carry the books now, but for the longest time when I went to Books A Million, they didn't carry Battle Angel books. They didn't carry Gantz books. You had to order them. I'd had to go into like Borders or Barnes and Noble or Walden Books while they were available within the area to pick them up on sale, so I could get a bunch. But Battle Angel, no. It's been over 10 years since I've seen any Battle Angel book in stores. Anywhere. I think I went to DC, Borders in DC, like 5 or 6 years ago. And did they have Battle Angel Gantz? No. Gantz was put out by Dark Horse, and it's a different type of manga, but I'm just lumping that in, that there are some mangas and obscure animes that people don't really know about, that they're more interested in, like One Punch and Attack on Titan. They're more popular. The article states that, like right here, exists from original. It's a relatively original property, unattached to pre-existing brand. They're talking about Marvel right here and Star Wars. And the person that wrote this article is, I think his name is Adam. Yeah, Adam White. And they go on, and he states that one of the things he brings up is there was a person that wanted to do an article. I'm not sure here. And it's like, it goes on about how the fans call Lita Army, hungry on YouTube, Reddit, and that's because that's where a lot of fans like to share content. YouTube and Reddit. and probably Facebook too. And just that, well, there has a darker underbelly alt-right portion. That could be said about anything. Anything could have an alt-right makeup to it. Star Wars, Star Trek, you name it. I could probably say there's an alt-right section that loves baseball and football, but it's stupid because I won't have proof. And I think this person didn't have any proof either. But he talks about how one person wanted to do a journal. Here it is. A journalist from the U.S. entertainment news site tweeted amongst, wanting to do a story. And in essence, a tweet of hers came to light that's been since deleted, and asked for forgiveness. But what had me pissed off is that the article kind of goes down to, where is it? Down here. And it's like, Marvel, upon its release in March, Alita was positioned as a right-wing alternative to Captain Marvel. Lightning rod aggravator for men's rights activists, alt-right internet figures, and misogynists. Pandering SJW crap. Basically, let me say this. Across YouTube, the geeks that I saw complaining about Brie Larson, okay, going back to this, that were complaining about Brie Larson, were the following that I paid attention, that was coming across my feed. That was this person here. Let me scroll down so I don't get blurred out. This person right here, Jesse Milestone, female, from the channel Mindless Entertainment. That Star Wars girl, a woman. Mecha Random 42, also a woman. And the one guy of the group from Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy. That's right. These folks are the ones that I watched. Plus, they were what they were talking about. It's like misogynists. What they were talking about is that Brie Larson was, instead of focusing on her character in Captain Marvel, she decided to complain about representation in the press junket. And a lot of folks like Jeremy, Mecha 42, and Jesse, and even a little bit of that Star Wars girl, stated was kind of, she should leave the press junket alone. Don't want the photo up. Leave the press junket alone in regards to that, even though she might have a point, and that what she's saying is true, she should complain about that later. She's got this movie coming out called Captain Marvel. And a lot of folks, like Adam White seems to be saying, is they're kind of complaining that, here's this movie, Captain Marvel. They're complaining that, it's a woman. And the thing is, again, what someone like Jeremy did was like, listen, because I don't want to, I don't like Brie Larson's politics. I don't like what she's doing. Don't see Captain Marvel. Don't see Captain Marvel. Go see Alita Battle Angel instead. Go see Odyssey instead. What they were again, see Alita, and what folks that were on the side of Brie Larson were saying, you hate women, you don't like women, you're a misogynist, you don't like women. And what Jeremy was saying, if I don't like women, why am I promoting everyone to go see Alita Battle Angel? How is that misogynistic? And they felt, a lot of the folks, like what Adam White is doing here, is kind of falling back. If they're not misogynists, they're alt-right. Why should you listen to these alt-right people? They're alt-right. And they were using that as the aspect of, oh, you're alt-right, you're misogynist. Well, you had folks, again, you know, I'm not clicking on the photos and it's bringing this stuff up. When they bring, like, oh, you're misogynistic. And you'd have, like, Jesse here and Mecha Random saying, you know, how am I, you know, misogynistic? I'm a woman. And that's the thing. Like, well, then you're alt-right. They pretty much say, if I'm alt-right, you know, how am I alt-right? I'm not saying, you know, you can't have women with being strong women in movies. But that's not what we're talking about. It's like we're focusing more so on Brie Larson's politics, not the movie. And what they were talking about as well as Adam went into this article is that that Alita doesn't really force the pop feminism down everybody's throats, like, you know, and that's true. That's what, you know, people like that Star Wars girl, Mindless Entertainment, and Mecha Random 42 said. And it's like, folks don't want someone saying, you have to do this. You have to, you know, what was I saying here? I think I skipped over this when I was trying to record earlier. Different kind of Larson was so poloed for. Willing to go keep us out, spring Latina at helm. I know I carry my name with me everywhere I go. I'm Rosa Bianca Salazar, and that, yeah, see that's the thing. That was one of the things that was coming out in regards to Brie Larson. Oh, you're complaining, yet they're promoting Alita Battle Angel, which has a Latino female lead. Oh, you're alright, you're full of hate. Latino female lead. And it's like, go see this. Yeah, people don't want politics and, you know, a lot of this propaganda BS shoved down people's throats. That's why you see a lot of movies fail. You see TV shows get fewer and fewer ratings. I think Supergirl kind of suffered from that on the CWs. That I've heard a lot of complaints about Supergirl. People leaving the, not the cast leaving the show, but people not watching them because they're sick and tired of how the show seems to push a lot of social justice warrior stuff down people's throat. And the regular fans and the people that just want to watch Superwoman and her team kick ass, mainly Superwoman, kick ass, and they're not getting that. They're getting, feminism, women, this kind of stuff shoved down their throat. They don't want that. They want to see something like Alita Battle Angel kick ass. And if it has the right amount of storytelling in it, which, again, Kirk Cameron and Robert Rodriguez know how to do, tell a story, and give great visuals, yeah. That's what happens. Now, what this person tried to do is compare things with Gamergate. The whole thing. Gamergate was a different thing. Literally, different thing. Gamergate was pretty much, people trying to bribe the rating system, the people that do the ratings, with like, we'll give you these perks. We'll, give you access to 5-star meals. We'll pay you, we'll give you money. We'll bribe you to give us good ratings. To give us good ratings, and everything was a crappy game. And everything else. I'm not going to go into Mary Sue, because a lot of folks have went into how bad Mary Sue gets things wrong every now and again. The person that has covered that has been Mecha42. So again, folks that want to defend Mary Sue, please see this person right here. Find the movie, the videos that she talks about the Mary Sue, and go into her comments. I have nothing against Mecha. She does a lot of great work. I like what she does. I like what Mindless Jesse Milestone does, and I like what that Star Wars girl does. I have nothing against these people. It's like, if you have complaints about, what I say about is Mary Sue's kind of like a weird site that gets things wrong, I'm kind of backing up what Mecha42 is saying. But, you go to her, find which movie, video she references the Mary Sue, and see what she has to say. If you don't like what she says, discuss things with her. But in regards to how apparently the Independent, this article's gotten things wrong, again, a lot of folks are worried about, again, it's based on an anime. It's science fiction. She has a right to look like that. And that was like major thing that people had to complain. So she's supposed to look anime-esque. And she's a cyborg. She can look however she wants to do. They kind of, bounding into comics, the person who wrote this article is Spencer. Spencer points out a lot of stuff, and it's like pretty much what I've gotten into. Discusses the article. It's actually tell you why they love the movie so much. Would listen to the fandom, he would notice that their reasonings are extremely similar to White's own praises of the film. It's pretty much what I said. It's like, it's a niche manga. It very, very much is. I'll agree with that. It was a niche manga. It is. Not many people know about it. It's not One Punch. It's not Attack on Titan. It's not Naruto. It's not Dragon Ball Z. It's very obscure. And that's how... I want to say this Bleeding Cool article is kind of right. And they're talking about right here. The claim entire... Bound Society's current culture wars for much of 2009 just says, "Drawing nonsensical and arena as much as it deserves. How this claim is disingenuous, it paints false, dramatic picture of the events that transpired." I want to say it kind of does. The reporter in question, Kyle Harrington, began posting a public question to. This is what the cult of Adam was talking about. That person from the U.S. I think a little bit up here it was. Not here. It was a little bit up. Right. I want to say. Back in. They said. March. What is it? Right here. Right here. Earlier this month, a journalist from U.S. Entertainment News. This right here. That's what this person's talking about. Kyle, I think that's who this person's talking about. Alita, I see you guys are getting a lot of attention on film Twitter right now. I'm an entertainment news journalist, and I'm really interested in talking with y'all about why Alita Battle Angel has attracted such dedicated, organized fan base. DM me. Doesn't sound like an attack. Responded, and following this question, members of Alita not with anger and insults, but rather with explanations. Yeah, right here. It's like the person, Alita Thornton. Pre-order now. Hi, Kyle. On one hand, I've been hoping for someone to, again, this person, it's part of the article, public information on Twitter, everything else, it's part of this article. I have been hoping for someone to cover the positive things we've been doing. A lot of us are hesitant about trusting establishment media sources whose coverage of Alita and her fan base has often ranged from indifferent to hostile. She's talking about, like reporters being hostile, not the fan base. And the question is, what are you going to do with the replies? Would it be easier to watch the movie without any bias? It wasn't hostile. If you want to call it that hostile, you can, but I doubt it. And considering it's like here, and considering the hit pieces against the movie and some amount of hostility against the fans, I hope you understand that we're hesitant. They're not. It's like, please, we're getting hostility, not the other way around. And the old tweet again. I guess this is the old tweet. Who do we think is more evil, the Alita Hive or the Bo-Rap Swarm? And that was a joke, just a joke between friends. This is, in essence, I guess, an apology for it. Says that it wouldn't include any bias. I can promise you, I worked on an article which is looking unlikely at this point. It wouldn't include any bias. If it would make you more comfortable, I could hand over the pitch to another writer and it kind of continues. Kylie came out in regards to this and says, I would have appreciated you reached out to talk to me before. Using your interpretation of my experience with Alita fans in your article, I'm still in school, and even I know that you should try at least make contact with people before telling their story. And she also says, I'm going to add this article to my reporting and not shy away from the allegations that the movie is associated with right-wingers, but if you actually talk to the current fans, you'll see that the politically motivated faction of the fandom left long ago. And I guess there was an alt-right faction to it, but when you have folks, they weren't, like someone like Jeremy here, even he would say, go see, he loved the movie. It was a great movie. It provided, everything that he liked. And he didn't back away from that opinion. So, I guess there was that were trying to latch onto it, but I guess they figured out they couldn't. So Callie is going on to say, it's still early in the morning for me. I'm going to be following my story for the wrap later today. With luck, I'll be able to talk to Robert Rodriguez for his reps today. Hopefully, I can get him to address this. It says ultimately, I think, this article from Bounding into Comics ends with ultimately, while elements of the regressive politics and bigotry may have been appeared individually within the fandom, one finds it hard to believe that these issues are persuasive as white claims, especially the fandom of a Hispanic-directed film based on a Japanese author's work, whose fans praise and adore Hispanic female. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what most people neglect to realize. That I want to bring it because they had the poster here in the Independent. Let's see if I can get the right here. Bring this image up. The main lead was a Latino, and Robert Rodriguez himself is of Latino descent. So, please tell me. It's like, well, they're led by hate groups. Okay, how does want to hate on, we're trying to put, fans are pushing people to watch this movie, get the word out, of a very niche anime and comic with a strong female uh, lead character that is, both directed and starring a person of minority descent, and based on that, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of funny that when you have folks like Jeremy uh, come out, promoting this movie. I have nothing against Jeremy either, and it's like, go see this movie, and it's like they're promoting a movie, Alita Battle Angel, in regards to someone, directing it who's Hispanic or Latino, and starring somebody Latino, based on a Japanese story or comic, and yet you have folks from at the time saying how misogynistic, how how alt-right hateful you are for promoting such a movie, for not promoting Captain Marvel and promoting Alita Battle Angel. Kind of weird, and a weird argument, a weird type of thing to say at the time, because as Bleeding Cool points out, the lead actress is of Latino, and Robert Rodriguez is a Latino. Go figure. It's like you're promoting one movie. It's like, yeah. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I hope all of you have a good day. Please check out the Lone Coat Mafia podcast. Links are down below. While you're here, please click that subscribe button. Please click the like button if you like this. I'm just trying to do something new for the channel. Share my thoughts on something. Again, I'm flying blind because I don't have two monitors to record everything. I'm trying to do this with OBS. Sorry that you kind of see a little bit of tricks of the trade. I'm still very much learning. Again, take care. Links to everything will be, at least links to my podcast will be down below. Here's the article in regards to it. Maybe I shall at least put the links in for both the independent article so you all could read it yourselves, and the Bleeding Cool article down below. And I know some of you might say that I'll bring this one back up. That YouTube, commentation and commentators, our voices don't matter. We do. Our voices do matter, whether you want to hear it or not. Take care. I'm out, and see you.